Welcome back, guys. You're here for our Madden 23 Owner Mode Week 12 news episode. Let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into talking about what happened last game out. So, guys, I don't know how we came out with a W. We talked about it in the pregame. The deck was stacked against us. Coming off a tough loss, a failed comeback for us in the Miami Heat. Reunion with Brandin Cooks. Overpowered offense. We were going against everything against us, and we walked out with the W. 25-17 was the score of the day. Let's look through the box score real quick. We came out after two really bad interceptions, which got them up by 10. We went 2 straight touchdowns, 14 points on the board. Second half, we started out with a field goal, and then we got 8 points because we got 2 field goals and a safety on the day, which was huge. I'm sorry, we didn't get 2 field goals. I lied. We got a touchdown. We went for a 2-point to make it a 10-point game. We didn't get it, but we still walked out with a W. And we got the safety, obviously, that we were talking about earlier. They came out with a touchdown, but they couldn't get any more out of that. So 25-17. Let's go over the team-specific stats. We go for a offensive guard comparison. We dominated them by about 100 yards. That came from our running game, which was dominant. 153 yards on the ground for the day. We love to see that. Passing was not great. Of course, the Apple Watch is listening. Passing yards, obviously, it was a rough game. We will talk about it later. But let's talk about it. First downs, we did great getting first downs all the time in this entire game. Punt return yards, some huge returning from Kes Watkins. He continues to be amazing, along with kick return yards. Turnovers, it was an ugly game for both sides. 4-4 both ways. We know all 4 of those. We will talk about them when we get there. Third down conversions, very good both ways. 5 for Miami is a monster, actually. Fourth down conversions, 1-to-1. We went for, I believe, 3. Only got 1 of them, so that sucks. But we worked out in the end, so we're not too mad about it. In time possession, pretty even as well. So a pretty even game. I was just happy we came out on top. And we can talk about all the positives we want. We have to talk about the negatives of this game. So passing, let's highlight our guy first. Davis Mills, 127 yards, 4 interceptions. It was bad. Bad game from him. We actually ended up subbing in Josh Rosen, who completed he only passed 1 time when he came in, but we needed somebody to manage the game, try not to throw another pick. He had a 7-yard completion. He was going up against Tua, who had 157 yards, 1 touchdown. You can have all the weapons in the world, but if you're throwing it to the other team, it's not going to work out. We had 3 interceptions on the day, 3 huge ones for us. We will take that any day. We go to rushing. Dameon Pierce is just dominant. 19 for 108 and a touchdown, 5.7 a carry. A monster day, 6 broken tackles. Marlon Mack backed him up for 5 for 41, 8.2 a carry. Monster day for our running backs. That might have been the difference in this game, honestly. Chase Edmonds, 10 for 19. Brandin Cooks had 1 carry on a sweep for 11, so he definitely got us some payback on that one. Davis Mills had a scramble for 5. Myles Gaskins had 2 for 4. But yeah, I think our rushing attack definitely helped us out. The receiving game, obviously one of the highlights of the day. Let's talk about it. Their second-year player, I should say now, Jalen Waddle. He had 10 catches for 76 yards, 7.6 catch, obviously. His longest one went for 21. And then we have the Mike Gesicki. He had 5 for 47, 9.4 a catch. Deshaun Jackson, 3 for 45, 15 a catch. Nothing crazy, no big bombs, but he's consistent with his grabs that he made. Brevin Jordan had 2 for 38. Let's see. Kyle Rudolph, 1 for 22. That was a big catch for us. Kes Watkins, 2 for 19. Nothing as monster as he has been, but still great. Tyreek Hill. He didn't make too much of an impact. We held him to only 17 yards. He did get 1 touchdown on us, which I think is really cheap that they got that penalty. But besides that, they got the touchdown. Brandin Cooks had 3 catches for 17 yards. We contained him too. We knew he was coming for a revenge game. We stopped that immediately. Why is my hair looking like that? Anyways. We're going to go. Marlon Mack had 1 for 10. That's the end of the receiving. We go to blocking. Liam Eichenberg, their right tackle, led up 2 on the day. Laramie Thompson led up 1, and Justin Britt led up 1. So not a perfect blocking day, but I think we got the upper hand on that one. Tackles led the way by Jerome Baker with 10, Jalen Pedre with 8, Eric Murray with 7, Eric Rowe with 6, and then a whole list of everybody else. Let's go for tackles for loss. Jonathan Grenard had 3, Jerome Baker had 2, Eric Murray had 2, Emmanuel Ogba had 2, Rasheem Green had 2, Christian Wilkins had 2, Jerry Hughes Jr. had 2, a whole list of 1s. We're not going to go through all that. Sacks. Jonathan Grenard, 1.5 sacks on the day. We love to see that. He's backed up by Eric Murray. Emmanuel Ogba both had 1, and then half a sack for Rasheem Green, for Raekwon Davis, for Melvin Ingram, for Jerome Baker did not. Interceptions, 2 for Xavier Howard. Honestly, they were bad balls. They were great plays by him, but they were bad balls by Mills, so we won't even argue with those. Jalen Petre had one. CJ Gardner-Johnson had one. He continues to be a superstar for us in the backfield. Byron Jones also had one. Javon Holland had one. And Derek Stingley Jr., the potential defensive rookie of the year, came away with one as well. So we'd love to see that. We need to look at forced fumbles. One for Christian Kirksey, one for Jonathan Grenard. We didn't get any of them, unfortunately, but it was nice that we're making those plays. Safeties. Eric Murray came in hot with a 1 safety, so we love to see that. Defensive touchdowns, we're going to look here. CJ Gardner-Johnson had a pick 6. Javon Holland had a pick 6. So they balanced out pretty well. Now it's time to take a look at some of the other games around the league for this week. We can take a look. Oh, I got something in my eye. Sorry, guys. We are back. We can take a look at this game. Jacksonville lost a close one at home, 21-19. We love to see that. Obviously, we know the Jaguars very well. They're in our division. We love to see them lose because that means we're winning probably. But we love to see that 21-19, a very close game. If I had to look at this game, let's see if I can find very quickly. Looks like Lamar Jackson went out for a little bit. Looks like Trevor Lawrence just gave the ball away one too many times. Rushing touchdowns, Lamar Jackson had 2. So pretty solid game. It was a tough one, but Baltimore pulled it out. We love to see it. Another one of our division mates, the Tennessee Titans, lost this week against Cincinnati, 24-17. Looks like Cincinnati was consistent throughout. Tennessee tried to make a late comeback, but they could not get enough. It looks like it was a pretty even game, honestly, with Titans coming back late, but they could not get enough. Ryan Tannehill had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Joe Burrow only had 1 touchdown on the day, but rushing Joe Mixon had 2 rushing touchdowns. That's huge for them. Derrick Henry could not punch one in today, and that might have been the difference. And let's talk about it. In Monday Night Football, last game of the week, the Colts came out on top. We knew Pittsburgh was going to be a tough test for them, but it wasn't tough enough. Very interesting game, honestly. So if we take a look at the box score here, looks like they were scoreless for the first. Then Indianapolis put up 21 in the second, which they went into halftime. And then Pittsburgh responded by putting up 21 of their own in the third. And then it looks like it's probably a late touchdown late. They both got a touchdown. Looks like Indianapolis went ahead to get the win, 35-28. We really needed them to lose if we're going to have this push for the #1 seed. But we are in the playoffs right now, so anything can happen, really. But just complete, utter domination by them this year. It's been crazy. They dominated time possession as well, so that might have been it. Matt Ryan, 4 touchdowns on 365 yards, only 1 interception. Mitchell Trubisky had 203 for 2 touchdowns. So a solid game from him if I know what I'm doing here. Rushing, Jonathan Taylor, 22 for 115, 5.2 a carry. Najee Harris had 75 and a touchdown. Mitchell Trubisky scrambled for 12. He also had a touchdown on the ground, so 3 touchdowns total for him. Very impressive game from Mitchell Trubisky there. And we missed it last week, so we have to talk about it this week. The yearly award races, we will talk about it here. I don't believe, we definitely don't have anybody in the MVP race. Coach of the year, though, Lovie Smith, and at number 3, he continues to move up the board. It's honestly been a very impressive year from him from a coaching standpoint. Getting this team anywhere near the playoffs has been amazing. So coaching these rookies really well. So we love to see that. If we switch over to the AFC section, Offensive Player of the Year, I'd be surprised. Yeah, we don't have anything in there. Defensive Player of the Year, we might still be surprised. Yeah, they're not in there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, though, Dameon Pierce leading the way at number 1. We love to see that. He has been so great for us. John Mechie III has also been such a great utility guy for us in the receiving game. He's in at number 3. And then any more Texans for us? I don't believe so. But 2 on the board, high on the board is very good. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we have Derek Stingley Jr. in at number 3. Jalen Petre in at number 4. These interceptions these past few weeks have definitely helped their case. Best quarterback, no, we're not even going to look at that. Best running back, we have Dameon Pierce in at number 9. It's a very impressive showing from a rookie, we'll say that. Best receiver, I doubt we'll have anybody. Yeah, we definitely don't. All best O-line, we might have Laremy Tunsil. We do not. Very interesting. Best defensive line. We might have a few guys in here, but we don't. Best linebacking core. I doubt it. Where linebackers are so poor. Defensive backs, though. CJ Gardner-Johnson at number 2. What a great move by us to pick him up. Sign him to a long-term deal. Keep him with the team for the long haul. Best kicker. Kai Mai Fairburn. He's been incredible for us. Obviously, he doesn't get a lot of love in the games because he's just a kicker, but he's been solid for us. I don't think he's missed a kick this year, so we'd love to see that. Best punter. Not even an award, so I will stop talking. So now we have gotten through all that. Now it is time to take a look at our upcoming game, which we are going up against the Cleveland Browns. So thankfully for us, still no injuries in our department. We'd love to see that. Obo's still hanging out down there. They have 2 big injuries, honestly, for them. They have their tight end, David Njoku, young 26-year-old. He's a key part of their offense, really. He has a torn rotator cuff, so he's out for the rest of the year. That's unfortunate for them. And one of their strong safeties, Grant Delpit, he's out with a PCL sprain. He should be back next week, but luckily for us, he won't be in this game, so we won't have to worry about him. But let's see who we do have to worry about on the field this week. At quarterback, they have Deshaun Watson. We're not even going to talk about his off-the-field drama. We talked about it in the preseason, but we're not going to worry about that. He's backed up by Jacoby Brissett. At the running back position, Nick Chubb is a monster for them. In his 5th year, out of Georgia. He's been dominant his entire career. Demetric Fulton Jr. backs him up. At the fullback position, they have Johnny Stanton. At the receiver positions, they have the former Cowboy Amari Cooper dominating over there. He's backed up by Allen Robinson, Jakeem Grant Sr., Anthony Schwartz, David Bell, and Michael Woods. At the tight end position, they have Harrison Bryant. At the left tackle position, I'm going to try and run through this O-line as fast as I can. Jedrick Willis. Left guard is Joel Bitonio. Center is Ethan Pochik. At the right guard is Wyatt Teller. And the right tackle is Jack Conklin. A very, very solid O-line for them. That's going to be important for us to game plan around. Jadeveon Clowney is in the left defensive end position. At the right defensive end is Myles Garrett. He is an unstoppable force. Unstoppable. He's incredible out of Texas A&M. Then we have defensive tackle is locked down by Jordan Phillips and Tommy Togai. I'll figure that out. But he's backed up by Jordan Elliott. Sion Takitaki is in the left linebacker position. Middle linebacker is Anthony Walker Jr., backed up by Ernest Jones. And right outside linebacker is Jeremiah Owusu-Koromoa. I think I got that right. I hope I did. Corners are Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, Avonte Maddox, Greedy Williams. Free safeties, they have John Johnson, and they have a strong safety, Ronnie Harrison. And the kicker, Cade York, and a punter, Corey Bojorquez. I think that's right. They got some tough names on this team. But let's figure out how we're going to game plan around that squad. So this is a tough offense to game plan against. I think our move is going to be we're going to have to defend the short pass against these guys. We have to lock down this receiving core. Deshaun Watson's a monster. And if we're playing close to the line, maybe we can have some influence in the run game. Hopefully lock that down, but it's going to be a tough day nonetheless. So we'll move ahead to that. For our offense going up against their defense, they have some pretty solid corners and defensive backs. They have a very dominant defensive line. I think our game plan is going to be throw at medium. We're going to try and test these linebackers, try to make their jobs harder, as it is the weak point of the squad. We have to try and get against that. We have to try and make some plays early. Also, a quick thing to talk about for the players that our coaches are especially focusing on, we did make a change. John Mechie III did have a spot in this rotation, but honestly, he's not really the focus of our receiving core at this point. So he's been moved out, switched out for, we're going to focus on Jerome Baker. He's stood out ever since he's been here, and I think he could be the future to lead this linebacking core into the future. We have received all the goals for this week, and another tough week, honestly. So I think our coaches and me in mind kept that in mind. So head coach Lovie Smith has said, let's win the turnover battle. It's a essential key to winning any game, and in a tough battle like this, that'll be huge to eliminate our mistakes and hopefully find enough of their own to be able to move forward and get a W today. Our offensive coordinator said 300 plus offensive yards. Pretty standard. If we get production like that, we'll be on a regular level with every team, and hopefully Browns have an off day on their side of the ball. Defensive coordinator, allow 24 points or less. All right, listen, they're going to be a tough team. They're going to put up points. If we can limit them to that number, we definitely still have a shot. It's going to be rough, but if we can keep them under that, we have a shot. And weekly game plan, I'm saying, let's allow 2 or less passing touchdowns. All right, we know Deshaun Watson had his off-the-field stuff. He may be confused by that. He's got some pretty solid receivers, and they have Nick Chubb. Let's make them go to Nick Chubb because that is their guy. Let us eliminate the passing game. Our defensive line has been huge this entire year. Let's rely on them. Let's go 2 or less passing touchdowns. We'll let our corners get to work, our defensive backs get to work. They've gotten a lot of takeaways throughout this stretch of games recently, so let's try to rely on them to eliminate the passing game, get them focused on running the ball, and hopefully our defensive line can find a stop. We got through another training, no injuries to speak of, so we'd love to see that. One thing we do want to talk about, though, that we saw as an owner, we saw in our practice time, Lovie Smith has said he's trying out some new things. He thinks it's really going to help the growth of our linebacking core, no matter if they're playing the outside left, outside right, or in the middle. So we'd love to see that, because that is going to be our focus going on to further years. So that's a very key skill that we can continue to grow. And after all of that, all of our front office, this, that, review, all that stuff is finally done. We are here ready for week 13. We are returning home. We are taking on the Browns. All of that, be a tough one. All of our we know that heading front into this office, game, this, that, we review, still have a shot. All that stuff. We didn't think we had a shot last game out. We are here ready. Dominated. 13. We came out with a win. We are returning home. We are beating up on our former player Brandin Cooks. It's going to be a tough one. We know that heading into this game. But this is our shot. If we look at the division, we had a shot last game out. Colts were still not dominated. 6-4-1. Came out with a win against earlier. We are in the playoffs up on our former player Brandin Cooks. Win streak going, proving why he's a star for us. We hope to have any shot at making the playoffs. This is our shot. If we look at the division down at the bottom, Colts are still not. You guys, we are 6-4-1. But as we saw earlier, we are in the playoffs. Turn those notifications down below. This win streak going. Keep these wins alive. We hope to have any shot at making the playoffs. We never could have imagined starting the season. I will catch you guys then. I hope you.